Are you hungry for a tasty, delicious vegan or vegetarian dish? You might simply want to cut back on eating meat on an everyday basis and you're just looking for a great substitute. Hi, my name is Dion and welcome to another episode of Dion's Kitchen, where I will be teaching you how to prepare vegan, vegetarian and healthy Caribbean meal. Here are the ingredients you're going to be using. I have asparagus that has been shaved and blanched. Simply means that you peel the asparagus and you pour hot water over it and let it stand for a minute. You pour it off and then that's what it looks like. Then here we have our scallions, and here we have our turmeric and curry that is mixed together. It's about 1 tablespoon curry and 1 tablespoon turmeric. We also have our chopped onions. We also have Portobello mushroom. You can use whatever mushroom you like. Portobello is just my preference, but any mushrooms will do. We have chopped red pepper and we have chopped green pepper. We have super greens, and these greens consist of Swiss chard, baby spinach, and arugula. We also have our chickpeas, otherwise known as garbanzo bean, or garbanzo bean otherwise known as chickpeas. You have 2 versions of the garbanzo bean. The garbanzo bean, it comes dry, or you can get it in the can. Today I use the can version. If you choose to use the can version, what happens is that it's still a little bit hard when you take it out of the can. So what I do is that I put it in the pressure cooker for 15 minutes. If you're going to use the dry version of the garbanzo bean, you want to soak it overnight. What that does is that it allows it to cook a little bit easier. What you're going to do is put it in the pressure cooker for at least 30 minutes. No, I would say probably 20 minutes, and then you cover it and you let it stand. This is my coconut milk. This is real coconut milk. I would say this is about 3 cups of coconut milk, or probably 4 cups of coconut milk. But this is the coconut milk that I put in the NutriBullet, and I extract the milk from the coconut. But if you do not have coconut milk that you can actually cut up in the blender and use, what you can do is you can use the canned coconut milk, or you can use the packaged coconut milk. It will give you a similar effect. It's still going to taste great. Also here we will be using garlic that has been infused in oil. This is what it looks like. I'm only going to use about a tablespoon of garlic. And I'm going to be using my pink salt, otherwise known as Himalayan salt. The reason why I'm using this is because it's the healthier version. And for seasoning, I'm going to be using my garlic, scallion, and allspice. This is at the end to just top it off. Let's get started. I will be sauteing my vegetables in organic, cold-pressed, unrefined coconut oil. So I'll be using a little bit of coconut oil. My stove is already on and it's on high, so I'll be using a little bit of coconut oil in my pot. And coconut oil is really good to cook with, especially when you're cooking high heat. So you want to let this stand for at least 45 seconds, I would say. You're going to know when it's hot. You'll see the steam coming up. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding the scallions, and I'm adding all my herbs first, because what that does is it releases the flavor out of it.
gonna saute this for at least, I would say, a minute. Keep on stirring it. You don't want it to burn. I'm also going to be adding a bit of my garlic that has been infused in oil. Now that the flavor has been released out of the scallion and the onion, I'm going to be adding the red peppers and green peppers. Just stir this. I would say let this take for at least a minute or a minute and a half. So you really want to release the flavor out of it. This looks really good. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be adding my asparagus. And I added this last because I don't want the vegetables to be too soggy and soft. You want it to be a little bit crunchy so it still have its nutrients. I'm going to be adding the portobello mushroom. Next, I'll be adding my super greens. This is so colorful. Go ahead and turn my stove down on like medium. So this is done. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting this away.
Now that my vegetables are sauteed and they look great, they look amazing, what I'm going to be doing is sauteing, putting some more coconut oil, a little bit more coconut oil in the pot. I'm going to be preparing my coconut milk. So I have the coconut oil in the pot, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the turmeric and curry mix inside of it, and I'm just gonna let it dissolve, let the grain dissolve, because what I find about myself is that when I eat curry and it's not properly cooked, then it hurts my stomach. So you can actually see the grains, so all those grains you want it to dissolve and you want it to cook. Okay, so I will be adding my coconut milk mixture to this. And I am going to turn it up just a little bit. And I'm gonna let it, I'm just gonna let it simmer. It's gonna take at least 15 minutes. So this has been boiling for around 15 minutes, and as you notice, we're actually down to the cream of the coconut. This is the cream of the coconut. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be adding my garbanzo bean to this mixture. Yeah. I'm just gonna let this come to a boil for another, I would say, 2 minutes. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding my herb marinade to this mixture, and this is going to make it taste so good. This is my herb marinade, all fresh herbs, basil. It has scallion, garlic, thyme, parsley, all that good fresh herb that has been blended in canola and olive oil. This is so good. Ooh. I want the herbs in here to just cook for another minute before I add my vegetable mixture to it. This is exactly where I want it to be, nice and creamy. Look at all that coconut cream. Gosh, this smells so good. So what I'll be doing next is I'll be adding my vegetables that I cooked before. I'll be adding it to this mixture. These colors, beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted it to look like. So I'm just gonna let it simmer for a little bit, but before I do that, I'm gonna be adding my spice to it, just a dash of scallion and allspice. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit over it, and I'm gonna be adding a little pinch of salt. I'm not gonna put it inside of it. I'm gonna use my hand and put a little pinch of it because I don't want it to be too salty. Actually gonna taste it to See how it tastes. This is so good. You're gonna love it. I would give it another minute or two and it's done. Oops, I almost forgot to add my Jamaican scotch bonnet pepper. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the whole pepper inside of it because you don't want this to burst. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the flavor and I'm not looking for the hotness. This can be very hot, so you don't want it to burst. So this is basically done. I'm curried garbanzo bean and vegetables in coconut milk. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoyed you spending time in the kitchen with me today. If you like this video, please share it with a friend. I am so sure that they could benefit from it. Thank you again for joining me in Dion's Kitchen.